The Capital City Condors hit the ice 12 years ago. It started because we wanted to see these kids that we'd seen around the rink cheering everybody else on to see if we could get them some ice time and skating too. So it started with 3 kids, and we're between 130 and 140 kids now 12 years later. So it's grown far beyond what we thought it would.
Jim Perkins helped start the Capital City Condors to make hockey more inclusive. His belief that sports are for everyone is rooted in his childhood.
Wow, getting it tricky now. I grew up with a dad who was paralyzed at the age of 28. And he had been a great athlete prior to that. But I spent most of my life as a kid wishing that sports could be adapted so he could still play. I think that somewhere in the back of my mind, or my heart at least, has kind of propelled this forward. To see a program like this grow the way it has, to see the way these kids are so intuitive in ways that most of the rest of us aren't. They really make us better people by being around them.
It's a special Friday morning here. Mark Borvietsky and his teammates welcome the Capital City Condors. They hit the ice at Canadian Tire Centre.
The team has a strong association with the Senators, particularly with defenseman and Ottawa native Mark Borvietsky, who serves as the team's honorary captain.
It's just so fulfilling for me. I was saying earlier, I almost feel selfish. I take so much out of this too. Players are a lot of fun to be around, and the connections and relationships we made have been so cool. Jonesy, this is my buddy John. We went to school together. Yeah, we grew up together. We went to elementary school together. Ah.
Mark is such a guy of character on so many levels. But even today with, all he did was send out a quick, guys, Condors are coming to skate if you don't mind spending a few extra minutes. And as you saw, most of them stayed out for the whole time because Mark's just that kind of guy.
20-year-old Jessica Hamilton is a shining example of the benefits of this program.
You have a good Christmas? What's up? Awesome. I'm so happy you guys came, Jessica. So happy you're here.
Jess is just, as you've seen, one of the happiest kids you're going to come across. She's adorable to watch play on the ice. Very affectionate kid, and just a joy to be around.
It's incredible because, the kids fall in love with these guys and they consider them friends now. Just following them around like puppy dogs almost, you know what I mean? And it was great that, most of the team stayed out with them too, and they were passing, and just incredible that they would take the time out for these kids.
I'm Brady. Nice to meet you.
It's easy to see the impact that the Capital City Condors has on everyone involved. It's a great example of what happens when community comes together. To mark the occasion, the Sens Foundation made a $20,000 donation to the team.
I'm so thankful for the support for the Sens Foundation. I think you see what ice times like this and what this team means to these players. It's a chance for them to be a part of a team and experience ice hockey and have the support of the Sens Foundation. So grateful and so thankful.
The difference that the Sens Foundation makes, not just in programs, but in people. Not just in groups of people, but in individual people. When I talk to a family about the fact that they can go to a restaurant now with all their kids, where for 10 or 11 years they couldn't because one of their children couldn't handle that kind of a social atmosphere. That happens because people give. And without that giving, that family is not making that same level of progress. So it breaks right down to individual people whose lives are being changed. And I don't know if we can say enough to encourage that.
And I have Jessica sitting next to me here, Mom and Dad, Mike and Shelley, and Jim Perkins, founder of the Capital City Condors. Thank you guys all so much for being with us tonight. And Jessica, we got to see you out there on the ice. You looked so great. Tell me what you love about being a Condor.
I love the Condor because I like to skate.
And you're good at it. It's so cool to see you do that. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Mom and Dad, how did you know that this was something that Jessica would love to do?
Well, she spent a lot of time in rinks her whole life because Mike plays and our youngest daughter plays competitive hockey. So we were really happy to find out about the Condors because up until then she wouldn't have had a chance to play hockey on her own. So now we all go and cheer her on just like she cheered everybody else on before that.
Jim, this is, oh, sorry, Mike.
Well, anyways, I was just going to say that, you know, the first time we went out, Jim introduced himself and he basically told me why he was doing this whole thing, and I thought it was wonderful. So.
And it's so wonderful. And Jim, I wanted to ask you, you know, there's so much more that goes into this than just renting ice and hockey equipment. Tell us a little bit about what's involved to get these kids comfortable on the ice and get them playing hockey.
We really didn't know what we were doing when we started. You know, we just wanted to get some kids out there and see if they could have some fun too. So really what we've learned is that each player brings something very unique to the mix, and it's finding the sweet spot for all of them. You know, sometimes that happens quite quickly and naturally. Sometimes it takes 7 or 8 weeks before they're feeling more comfortable on the ice, but we learn so much from them and from the families. It's pretty overwhelming sometimes.
I bet it was a little overwhelming skating with the Senators too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed really fun. Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you sharing all of your stories tonight. We hope it encourages people to pick up the phone and to donate. Ian?